So let's turn to page 4 if you have a book. Page 4 and 5. We're going to do Unit 6, Amazing Plants. So let's look at this picture. Do you know what kind of plant this is? It looks like some sort of Venus flytrap. This is a better picture, page 5. I don't know. It's an Australian sundew plant. I don't know. It looks a little like a Venus flytrap. What do you think? I think it does. What about these things? They look kind of like eyeballs. Kind of like eyeballs. But I don't know. I don't think they're eyeballs. But they look like eyeballs. So it's a very interesting plant. We don't see this plant very often, right? It's a little different. Yeah, it's very strange. A little interesting. Strange can be interesting too. Or maybe it just means scary or weird. All right, let's answer these questions. So these flowers are sculptures. Are they real or are they art? I think they're real, not sculptures. They're not art. They're real flowers. The flowers are wet. Does it look wet? Yeah, maybe sticky. Maybe it looks wet. These flowers eat insects. Do you think they eat insects? Are they carnivores? Yes. It kind of looks like a Venus flytrap, which is a plant that eats insects. So we're going to learn about plants that eat other animals today. Sounds pretty exciting, right? So interesting plants. Plants that do amazing things. Usually animals eat plants. We eat plants. But sometimes plants can eat animals. And we're going to learn about that today. Looks really interesting. Let's go to page 6 and 7. We're going to look at some plants here. You might know some of these plants already. I know I have seen them before. This big one on page 6, this is called a pitcher plant. Have you seen this plant before? It's very big. I've seen it in pictures, not in real life. I think it lives in the rainforest. Very hot and rainy environments. So I think it lives in the rainforest. It's very big, and inside is like a juice, but a bad juice. Yeah, it's a carnivorous plant. Good. Carnivorous, good use of that word, Chris. Means it eats other animals. It's very big, yeah. And I think it's a carnivorous plant. You are correct. Let's look on page 7. We have the stink lily in Panama. I've heard about this plant. It has a very bad smell. It smells like dead animals, I heard. It smells like death. It has a very bad smell. And it looks strange too. Panama is, do you know where Panama is? It's in South America, well, Central America. So it's near South America. So they have rainforests there. And this is the Venus flytrap, which we know. I think we all know the Venus flytrap. It's in Brazil. They live in rainforests. Poisonous? Maybe. The stink lily is poisonous. It looks poisonous. It's purple. And it looks deadly. Yeah, we know the Venus flytrap. It's a very famous plant that eats insects. All right, let's go over some vocabulary words and then we can read. So attract. To attract is to make something want to come to you or to make something want you. Like, let me see, honey. Honey attracts bees. Bees like honey. So the smell, the taste, the sweet taste of honey attracts bees. So they want to come to honey and eat it. So attract. Leaf. One leaf, two leaves. A part of a plant is a leaf. You can see leaves here. Behavior is how something acts, like an animal, and why it acts that way. So how something acts and why it acts that way is behavior. Light comes from the sun or a light bulb. Roots is the part of the plant that grows underground. Ground is dirt, what plants grow in. Bacteria, little germs. Everything's made of bacteria. You can only see bacteria under a microscope, so like little germs. Adapt means to change. It looks like a basset. Yeah, like a pitcher, like you pour water in. Yeah, that's why they call it pitcher plant. To adapt means to change so that you can live. So plants adapt, animals adapt to their environment. They have to change to live in their environment. Survive. To survive means to live and not die. We have to survive. So survival is a noun. To survive is a verb. Strategy. Strategy is a plan you make to win. So a strategy, you strategize is a verb. All right, let's look at some more vocabulary words. Stink. Ugh, bad smell. Ugh. Stink is a bad smell, like a very bad smell. Trick. You make somebody think something, but it's wrong, so you trick them. Trap. To catch something, you trap it. So the Venus flytrap, we call it Venus flytrap because it traps insects and then it eats them. Digest. To digest means to eat, not just to eat. When the food goes into your stomach, the juices in your stomach digest, so break it down. When you eat something, you digest. Your body digests. So through your stomach, and then your large intestine, small intestine, that's called digestion. To digest is the verb. Small is sweet but very dangerous. Ah, it's very sweet but dangerous. Maybe that's why the insects go to it, because it's very sweet, and then it traps them and eats them. Sometimes plants can be scary. This is kind of creepy. Usually you don't think plants are very dangerous, but I guess they can be dangerous. All right, we're going to listen to it first. We're going to learn about these really interesting plants. And then we're going to read. So let's listen first. Page 6 and 7. This is track number 1. Unit 6.
Unit 6. Vocabulary 1. Activity 1. Listen and read. Have you ever heard of a flower that smells like rotting meat to attract insects? Have you seen a plant close its leaves over an insect? Can plants really do these things? Let's learn more about the behavior of plants. Plants need light, air, water, and nutrients to live. Roots absorb the nutrients that are in the ground and water. Tiny creatures called bacteria turn these nutrients into food that the plant can use. But some places don't have a lot of these nutrients, so some plants adapt. They follow a different plan for survival. Their strategy is to eat insects to live. The stink lily gets its name from its smell. The flower stinks like rotting meat. The smell attracts flies to the plant, and then tricks them. When a fly crawls on the flower, pollen sticks to the fly. Then the fly takes the pollen and leaves it on the next plant it visits. That's how the stink lily makes new plants. The Venus flytrap attracts insects with a sweet odor. When an insect lands on an open leaf, the leaf closes and traps the insect. Then the plant slowly digests the insect over a period of 8 to 10 days.
All right. So we heard the story about these interesting plants, and now we're going to read. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 students. How many? 1, 2, 3. There are 4 paragraphs, but number 2 is kind of long, so maybe 2 people can read this paragraph. Maybe from here to here, and then here to here. Somebody can read paragraph 1. 2 people can read paragraph 2 because it's kind of long. Maybe a person can read paragraph 3 and then 4. Does everybody have a microphone that works that they can use? If you don't have a microphone or it's not working, let me know if you can't read. Chris, you want to read number 1? Number 1? Can't see that very well. You have a microphone? Hit on? Or you don't have a microphone? So Chris, you can read paragraph 1. Maybe paragraph 2. Hidong, you want to read? The first part. What about the second part? Maybe Yule? You can read. And then paragraph 3. Maybe Dottie, can you read? And the last one, Xiun? Xiun? All right. If you don't have a microphone or if it doesn't work, I can read for you. So we'll see. We'll see who has a microphone and that works. All right, first is Chris. Chris, I'm going to turn your microphone on. You can read paragraph 1.
Have you ever heard of a flower that smells like flowering it to attract insects? Have you seen a plant cross its leaves over an insect? Can plants really do bad things? Let's learn more about the behavior of plants.
All right, good job. All right, Hidong, you want to read the first part? So from here to here. I'm going to turn your microphone on.
Plants need light, air, water, and nutrients to live. Roots absorb the nutrients that are in the ground and water. Tiny creatures called bacteria turn these nutrients into food that the plant can use.
All right, good job. Okay, Yul, I'm going to turn your microphone on. Can you read from here to here? Yul, do you have a microphone that works? We can't hear you. Yul, are you there? Wait, okay. You want to test your microphone, Yul? Or you want to read the next paragraph? Maybe Xian can read this one, and you can read the last one if you want to wait. All right, Xian, is that okay? Can you read this part? I'm going to turn your microphone on.
From the but some places. Can you hear me? But some places don't have a lot of these nutrients, so some plants adapt. They follow a different plan for survival. Their strategy is to eat insects to live.
All right, good job, Xian. Okay, next page. Dottie, can you read paragraph number 3? I'm going to turn your microphone on.
The stink lily gets its name from its smell. The flowers stink like rotting milk. The smell attracts flies to the plant and then tricks them. When a fly crawls on the flower, pollen sticks to the fly. Then the fly takes the pollen and leaves it on the next plant. If this is that how the stink lily makes new plants.
All right, good job, Dottie. The stink lily doesn't actually eat the insect, but it tricks them. All right, last one. Yul, can you read? Is your microphone working? Is that okay? We'll try. It's not working? Okay. Does anybody want to read the last paragraph? Yul's microphone isn't working. Anybody want to volunteer to read? Okay. Xian, you can read the last one. I'm going to turn your microphone on.
The Venus flytrap attracts insects with a sweet odor. When an insect lands on an open leaf, the leaf closes and traps the insect. Then the plant slowly digests the insect over a period of 8 to 10 days.
Okay, good job. Good job reading. Just one thing, odor. Odor means a smell. Most of the time a bad smell, but sometimes a sweet smell. It's a smell that's very strong. We call an odor. So usually that's a bad smell, but sometimes a sweet smell too. Like a sweet odor, something that's very strong, has a very strong sweet smell, maybe like perfume. It's an odor. All right, any questions about these vocabulary words? we learned about some interesting plants. The pitcher plant, the stink lily, and the Venus flytrap. So now we're going to listen to the song. The song is on page 8 and 9. And plants are all around. This is the name of the song. But before we listen, I always like to look at the pictures. This is a flower. It's called a monkey orchid. An orchid is a type of flower that lives in the rainforest. And it looks like it has a monkey's face. I've never seen this orchid before. So it's called a monkey orchid. It looks like a monkey's face. It's ugly? Oh. Well, monkeys aren't very cute. I don't think they're cute. But it looks like a monkey's face. It's kind of funny, yeah. I think it's funny. All right, let's listen to the song, page 8. Plants are all around. Track number 3.
Song. Activity 1. Listen, read, and sing.
Leaf and stem and flower and root, the sweet, delicious smell of fruit is here and there and everywhere. Plants are all around. Plants are growing up and down. Air is flowing all around. Plants come in every shape and size. Their bright colors attract the eye of bees and butterflies. Big and small plants survive it all. Leaf and stem and flower and root, the sweet, delicious smell of fruit is here and there and everywhere. Plants are all around. Plants are growing up and down. Air is flowing all around. Some plants play tricks with our eyes. They're made to give us a surprise. A plant is designed to survive, to make new seeds, to grow and thrive. Some of the oldest plants on earth are trees on mountains high, drinking in the light, reaching up into the sky. Leaf and stem and flower and root, the sweet, delicious smell of fruit is here and there and everywhere. Plants are all around.
Okay, plants are all around. They're everywhere, even in the desert. So they're very important for our life. Without plants, maybe we wouldn't have life. We would probably starve. We would have no food. So plants are very important. Let's look at the grammar. We're going to go to page 10. We're going to practice using a passive voice in the simple present. What does this mean? Well, we're going to take a look at it. So we're going to use a passive voice in the simple present. Let's practice this. But before we get into the passive voice, I want to show you the difference between an active voice and a passive one. So most of the time when we speak, we use an active voice. This involves subject, verb, object. Most of the time when we speak or when we write, it's in the active voice. And it goes subject, verb, object. So subject does something, verb to the object. For example, I play games. So we have subject, I, verb, play, object, games. So the active voice, the verb, the subject does something to the object. I play games. We call this an active voice. So this is what we use normally. But sometimes, instead of using an active voice, we can use a passive voice. So in a passive voice, the object is acted upon by the subject. What does that mean? Well, let me give you an example. Instead of I play games, we start with the object first, not the subject, which is I. Games. We use to be, are, and then verb in the third, played. Games are played by who? By me. So the passive voice is a little different. We don't use the passive voice very often because normally we use the active voice because it puts more emphasis on the action done by me or the subject. And the object goes last. But sometimes we can use the active voice. So the object goes first. And the object is acted upon by the subject. So we use to be. The object to be is or are plus verb 3. Does anybody know what verb 3 is? So verb 1, present tense, play. Verb 2, past tense, played. Verb 3, played. So 1, 2, 3. Sometimes they're the same, verb 2 and 3. Sometimes they're different. For example, go, went, gone. So sometimes the second and third verb are the same. Sometimes they're different if the verb is irregular. So go, went, gone, play, played, played. So this is the grammar formula. Object, to be, verb 3. So games are played by the subject, which is me. And we have are because games. This is a plural noun. So are. If I use a singular active voice sentence. Horses eat. What do horses eat? Grass. Let's start with grass because that's the object. Grass is singular, non-countable. Grass is eaten by who? By horses. So you see the change, the kind of difference between active and passive voice. So active voice, subject, verb, object. Passive voice, object, use to be, and then verb 3. So grass is eaten by horses. So the object is acted upon by the subject. So normally we use the active voice. We only use the passive voice if the object is more important than the subject. Usually the subject is the most important. So I play games. What's more important, me or games? Me. The fact that I play games. Horses eat grass. Which is more important, horses or grass? Horses. Because they're first. Games are played by me. Which is more important in the sentence? Games. The fact that games are played. By me, not so important. Grass is eaten by horses. What's more important here, grass or horses? Grass. So sometimes we can use the passive voice if the object is a little more important than the subject. Let's practice this. I will give you an active voice sentence. Why don't you change it to a passive voice? Let me give you the grammar formula so you know how to use it. So active voice, subject, verb, object. Passive voice, object, to be, verb 3, and then the subject. Okay? Let me give you an example, and then you can make sentences for me. I eat jam. Jam is eaten by me. Kind of a funny sentence because we usually don't use the passive voice for it, but this is just a practice. Don't worry. Just practice making sentences. All right, who wants to go first? Let me give you an active voice question or sentence. Some plants eat insects. Who wants to do this? Make it a passive voice. Any volunteers? Anybody want to put this sentence in the passive voice? So the object, to be. So is or are. Verb 3. Anyone? Any volunteers? Maybe. Okay, if you don't want to say it, you can type it. Just let me know if you're going to type it. Okay, hold on. Some insects are eaten. Okay. Insects are eaten by some plants. Good. Insects are eaten by some plants. Okay, good. So that's not so hard, right? Hold on. Good. So active voice, passive voice. Let's do some more. He plays baseball. Anybody want to make this into a passive voice sentence? Remember, the subject is he. So I, me, he, him. Remember him. He played baseball? Xion, we'll put the object first to make it a passive voice. So baseball. To be is verb 3. Played by who? He, him. Good. By him. Baseball is played by him. All right. Let's do one more before we go to the grammar. Okay. We use tools for building things. Anybody want to try this? So tools here is the object. So let's start with that first. Tools. To be. Tools is a plural noun. So tools are. What is the verb here? We use tools? Tools are used for building. Good. Tools are used for building by us. You don't need the by us, but you can use it. You could stop the sentence here. Or by people. All right, good job. So the object, tools. Tools. The grammar we use to be, verb 3, are used. And for building by us. So we're going to practice turning these passive or active voice into passive voice, because sometimes we can use the passive voice. Maybe the object is a little more important than the subject, but usually we do use the active voice. But we're going to try to practice this passive voice today. Let's go back to the grammar. What page was it? 10? So insects, this is plural. We have an S. So insects are attracted. So to attract, are attracted to the plant's sweet smell. The seeds, this is plural, are carried away by birds. We can make a question. How is the insect trapped? The fly is caught. So the fly is singular, one, so is caught. Catch, caught, caught. Attract, attracted, attracted. Carry, carried, carried. So verb 3. Remember verb 3. Sometimes it's the same as verb 2. Sometimes it's different. All right, we're going to complete these sentences on activity 1, page number 10. So if you see number 1 as an example, we have the verb. We need to make it passive voice. So to be, verb 3. Plant food is made by bacteria. So we're going to finish 2, 3, 4, 5. Why don't you give me the answers? So give me the to be and then verb 3. Maybe number 2. Who wants to do number 2? Chris? Can I turn your microphone on, or do you want to type the answer, Chris? So pollen is singular. We can't count pollen. Remember, singular. Chris, can I turn your mic on? Can you do number 2? Is not ready? Okay, can you write the answer? Chris? So pollen is singular, meaning we can't count. So nouns we can't count, we use is. So pollen is, what is verb 3? Take, took. Take, took. Taken. Taken, verb 3. Pollen is taken to other plants by insects. So verb 3. Verb 1, take, took, taken. So sometimes the word changes for verb 3. All right, number 3. If you just want to type the answer, you can. If you're feeling a little shy, that's okay. Yule, the seeds. carried by birds. Remember, this is plural. We have an S. The seeds. Can you do number 3? You can write the answer if you're not sure. Are you there? If you need help, just let me know. I can help you. So the seeds, this is a plural noun. We have an S. So we use are. Are carried. Good job. The seeds are carried by birds. Okay, number 4. Daddy, can you do number 4? Plants that eat insects. This is plural. Find in the rainforest. Daddy, can you do number 4? Daddy, you want to write the answer or do you want to say it? Okay, let me turn your mic on.
Are found.
Okay, good job. Plants that eat insects are found. Oops. What happened? So plural, to be, are. Find, found, found. Good. All right, number 5. Maybe Shion? Number 5. Many new plants discover. So this is plural with an S. Are discovered. Okay. Good. Are discovered. Many new plants are discovered every year. So discover, discovered, discovered. So they stay the same in the second and third. All right, good. We're going to read and underline the answer, but you know what? You can do this for homework. Oh, if you have a book, you can do it for homework. Some of you don't have books. Sorry about that. So page number 10, activity number 2. We're going to check this next week. So you're going to circle the correct answer. It says underline. You can underline or circle. I personally like circling better, but underline or circle. So use the correct simple passive voice, simple present. For example, Socotra is located in the Indian Ocean. So to locate means to find something or where something is. So is located. So circle the correct one. We'll do page number 11 next time because we run out of time. And in your workbook for homework, you can do page 78. Your workbook is in the back of your book. Page 10, activity 2, page 78 in the workbook, page 79. This is the vocabulary. 78, 79. Page 81. This is the grammar we went over. So the passive voice, simple present. So complete the sentences and then rewrite down here. All right, so homework is page 81, 78, and 79 in the workbook. And page 10, activity 2. So circle the correct answer. And we'll check homework next time. We can say bye here.